Hello, my name is Martin Wallace, and my project is called Measuring Student Confidence Through Low-Risk Competition, the UTA Library's Pitch of the Week Contest, or POW for short. In April 2017, the UTA Libraries is holding a series of pitch contests modeled on the Iron Chef battles in the Technology Test Kitchen at the 2016 OLC Accelerate Conference. Students will be placed on teams and provided a random prompt with which to brainstorm an idea for an invention, product, service, new business, or solution to a problem. Teams will have 20 minutes to brainstorm and refine their ideas, and then 5 minutes to pitch their ideas to a panel of judges. Winning teams from each of 3 preliminary rounds will move on to compete in the final round. Then this contest will be staged much like a game show and will be held at the UTA Fab Lab. Teams will be able to use any and all digital tools at their disposal, including the internet, to conduct their brainstorming and create their presentations. Competitors will be asked prior to the contest to rate their confidence levels in the categories of teamwork, proposal writing, technical communication, creative thinking, and critical thinking. Students will again be given the same questionnaire after the contest. We will evaluate whether or not the competition had any influence on student confidence levels in these categories. And I promise that is the only slide I'm going to read throughout this presentation. So a little bit of background information. So I joined this PLC group, the Digital Pedagogy Group, as a librarian who does primarily curriculum and assessment design around programs in our Fab Lab, which means face-to-face, in-person students. I don't currently teach any courses, especially nothing online, and pretty much all my work requires people be, as I said, in the Fab Lab. So this kind of put me in a weird spot. I didn't really know how to make this PLC relevant to the work I'm actually doing on the day-to-day, and I didn't have time to sort of like create some sort of a digital class, digital course that I could apply some sort of these digital pedagogy tools towards. So as I was kind of stressing out about this, we happened to be attending the OLC Accelerate conference, and I participated, or I participated as an audience member in the Iron Chef battles, which, as the title implies, was very much like a cooking show. They would provide teams of people with some basic tools, digital tools, and give them a prompt, and they would have like 15 minutes to ideate a problem to that prompt. This made me think about what could be done as a face-to-face event in the Fab Lab. I decided that I could do something very similar, and I would incorporate some digital tools to allow teams to ideate their pitches and write their pitches, as well as using some digital tools to help me assess and measure learning. At the time when I thought about this, I was really focusing on measuring learning. It's kind of adapted since then to where I'm actually measuring confidence. But I feel that if there is a change in confidence level, then students have probably learned something about themselves in order to either improve their confidence or decrease their confidence. So my research questions, did the contest appear to have an effect on student self-confidence? And if so, which of the 5 skills, teamwork, proposal writing, technical communication, creative thinking, or critical thinking, did the contest have the greatest impact on? And then further, I'd like to know if there's a difference between the effect on confidence between students on teams who actually won their rounds versus students on teams who lost their rounds. My methodology, I'm basically using Qualtrics survey system. I created a registration form in Qualtrics for students to sign up to compete. As part of that registration form, they have to do an assessment, a self-assessment on those 5 skills that I previously mentioned. And then after they finish the contest, they will do another survey and rate their confidence in the same 5 categories. So that way I can look at the before picture and the after picture to determine whether their confidence levels went up or down. Now the students on the teams that win the preliminary rounds, they won't take their host survey until after the final round, which is the last Wednesday in April, the 26th, I believe. Um, so up to this point, I've only got data from 4 teams, and those were the 2 teams from each preliminary round that has taken place so far that did not move on to the final round. So I want to talk a little bit about the planning of the project. Now, this could take, I could do an entire hour or 2 hours on this alone, but unfortunately, I'm going to try to squeeze it all into one slide for this presentation. It was a lot of work, a whole lot of work. The actual survey design and getting the results and doing the evaluating the student confidence levels. That's actually the easiest part of this whole thing. I worked with a committee. We have an experience at UTA Libraries Planning Committee that basically is responsible for programming in the Fab Lab. So we all worked together on this. I developed a website and a registration system. A couple other people on the committee went out and found judges who would volunteer. We together created all the materials, including prompt cards. There were basically 3 decks of cards in the categories of a discipline, a technology, and a material. And the teams would draw cards from those decks, and combined, they would have a random prompt that would include a discipline, a technology, and a material that they had to use in their ideation. So we developed those cards. We developed signage. I wrote every week. I'm writing a script for our MC. We do have an actual game show host by the name of Tessa White, who is very great at doing sort of acting and sort of being put on the spot and doing some sort of improvisational theater. So anyways, I write a script for her every week that will include all the team, all the competitors' names and their biographical information, and the judges and their biographical information. She comes up with some trivia. She does trivia with the audience as the teams are doing their working on their pitches. I developed a judging rubric for the judges, and there are actually a lot of other little bits and pieces that go along with this. So it was quite a bit of work. The biggest part, well, maybe not the biggest part as far as creating materials, but as far as like do a lot of work, marketing. We had to like really, like in a very short amount of time, we had to reach a lot of people across campus and get their attention about this event. We had additional help from UTA Department of Communication. They provided all the video equipment and live streaming equipment, plus the videographers themselves who filmed it and provided that live stream on Facebook. We've also archived the two contest rounds we've done so far have been archived on YouTube. We also did, of course, have lots of help from our IT department, and I'll kind of go into that in the next slide, where I talk about the technology and the tools. So Basecamp is an online platform for doing project management. We use that to keep us all organized, keep us all on task. Qualtrics, I've already mentioned, that's what we use for the survey, pre and post surveys. Lots of technology in the contest rounds, including each team had a laptop and an audience-facing display. This gave the audience and the judges the ability to watch what the students were doing on their computers in order to help gauge their sort of get into their heads on how their creative process and their teamwork. Each team had a whiteboard, and they did use them. That actually kind of surprised me that they do use the whiteboards. Even in a little 20-minute brainstorming session, they still take advantage of those whiteboards. We had a PA system with a wireless microphone for the MC, and of course she would go around and talk to audience members, and she would talk to the competitors and use that microphone throughout the show. Videography and streaming video capture technology. We had a popcorn machine. We served Pepsi products and popcorn, free popcorn for anyone who attended, audience members alike. We set up Poll Everywhere to allow the audience members to vote on their favorite pitch. And so basically we have 3 judges. We have 3 judges for each contest, and the audience serves as sort of like a 4th judge. In case there's a tie among the judges, the audience vote determines the winner. And we actually did run into that situation during the second contest. We had a tie, and the audience vote broke the tie. And then we have a fourth display set up that is for that's where the timer is displayed, the 20-minute timer, and then the 5-minute timers for each pitch. Plus, we display the live poll during the judging process on that screen. So the survey results. We're still collecting the data. We haven't got everything yet. I've already kind of mentioned this. We've got 2 rounds of data. And I initially believed that the student confidence level would increase after the contests. And so far, I've actually been really shocked that almost across the board, their confidence levels have gone down. Now, keep in mind, we were only surveyed the people who have not won. So that could be the cause of that. And I think we'll be able to kind of come to some conclusion about that after we've done the final round and seen the post-survey results of the teams that did win. And that is it for my presentation. Hope you enjoyed.